The USA kick off their Copa America tournament this coming match day as they look forward to an interesting counter up against Bolivia. And what about Brazil? They've got their tournament to start. What are they going to do? We're going to get into it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today is all about matchday number 1, part 2. That's right, the matches for Group C and D in this year's Copa America. Of course, who's getting off to a flying start? Who, of course, will have a bit of a whimper. We'll get into all of it in a minute. A big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash that subscribe, boys and girls. Looking for 50 likes on the video. Can you do us a favor and hit that like? Costs you nothing, absolutely nothing. And of course, it does you some wonders because it gives you more content just like this. Not necessarily my content, but other people's content who, of course, are creating Copa America content. If you smash the like, it does wonders in that department. And of course, it is 100% free. It doesn't cost you a dime. It does wonders for the channel. We're looking for 55. Can we get 55 likes? That's a bit of a cheeky shout there. Can we do that? Well, we'll see. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And a big shout out to them monstrously for supporting the channel. And of course, we're going to jump right in the deep end to talk about this, guys. It is match number 1, part 2. And of course, we've already done match number 1, part 1. But what does that mean? That means we've done these two already. We've done groups A and B matches. We're now going to focus on group C and D. But if in case you just missed the first one, let's remind ourselves of the nations that are in this Copa America tournament. Starting with group A, Argentina, Canada, Peru and Chile. In B, we have Mexico, Ecuador, Jamaica and Venezuela. But today it's all about USA, Uruguay, Panama, Bolivia, and then Brazil in D, Colombia, and we've got Costa Rica and Paraguay, of course. A handful of the countries there have, of course, picked up trophies in their past, with both Uruguay and Argentina. The heavy hitters with 15, that's right. Brazil, a long time in the wilderness. They're due a bit of silverware in this tournament, of course. I also want to let you know that we do have a prediction league, of course. It is 100% free. Get involved. See if you can outpredict me, the Prediction King. Use the link right here, of course, and see if you can outfox me, because I don't think you can. I don't think you can do it. Anyway, that is that. Now we're jumping in the deep end with, of course, Group C action. So let's get into it, kick it all off with the host, the US of A. Of course, this is a dress rehearsal for the World Cup in a couple of years' time. So USA are pitting themselves up in this interesting scenario in the Copa America. They're going to take on Bolivia in opening day. That's on in their eyes. That's on June the 23rd. That's right. Now, these two sides will lock horns at the AT&T Stadium with USA, with Greg Berhalter up against Bolivia and Zago in the dugout. Now, these two nations have played each other just twice since 2016, with USA coming out on top with 2 wins out of 2. The United States, though, 42% forward for them at the moment. Back-to-back games without a win. Whereas Bolivia, just 1 win in the last 5. They're on 33% forward for them. Not great at the moment. Now, the last match between these two sides was a 3-0 win for the United States back in May 2018. It was a friendly. So, you know, take from that from what you will. Of course, coming into this, the United States with a couple of preparation games, they did get spanked by Colombia 5-1, which caused a bit of concern for the United States fans for this tournament, thinking that they've not got the quality to do it here. But they've recovered somewhat with a 1-1 draw against Brazil. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Bolivia picking up a 3-1 loss against Ecuador. They're going to complete their preparation matches against Colombia on June the 15th in another friendly before we get to the serious stuff. Now, the odds for this one, the United States, despite that 5-1 spanking by Colombia, are actually 5-1 on to win this game. 90-4 is the draw. 60-1 is your long shots. That's Bolivia here. When you look at this, USA have really got a good chance to go to the quarterfinals here. Quarterfinals means top 2. A third place finish means absolutely nothing in this tournament. It's quite serious. Top 2 and you're through. 3 you go home, just like 4th. So this is a big opportunity for the United States. And of course, realistically, I don't know what, I didn't see any of that 5-1 loss to Colombia. Either they were that good or the USA were that bad. But I fear that the United States were just that bad. I don't think we'll get that here. I think they're going to take this with a bit more a serious intent, and they should come out on top with at least a 2-0 win. But I'm expecting more than that, if I'm completely honest with you. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for the United States. I think they should be good enough to qualify out of this group. It has given me a little bit of food for thought because I was thinking the USA could go to the final. But right now, I think my ultimate, if I'm going to go big screen here, I'm going to go big screen here because I did my predictions on this a long time ago, and I backed the United States to be a serious contender to win this in their own backyard. But now I have reservations, not about the players. I think they've got really good players. I just don't think they got the right coach. I think they got a bit of a Southgate fever here with Burkhardt. I don't think he's the right man. I think the United States Football Federation could spend a bit of money on bringing in a lucrative manager, or even just a tried and trusted, but no disrespect to Burkhardt, but I think with this players, the set of players, you've got a golden generation here. I think you need, you got to spend a bit of money, maybe get, just get the checkbook out and get somebody decent, because I think with the right man in charge, you could not only compete in this tournament, but I think you can win this one. And also with the right man behind the scenes, I think you can go very, very far in the World Cup. That's right. This could be a humongous opportunity missed. So anyway, enough about my rant. 2-0 win though. The United States will win this against Bolivia. Meanwhile, Uruguay, of course, looking very, very good. They take on Panama on opening day, June 23rd for them. Of course, this is over at the Hard Rock Stadium. That's right, Uruguay against Panama. Uruguay with Bielsa ball, of course. Panama with Christensen ball. Now, these two nations have played each other 3 times since 2015. 3 wins out of 3 for Uruguay. It's been such a bad match between these two sides for Panama. They've yet to score a goal against Uruguay over the course of those 3 matches. Uruguay come into this just 1 defeat in the last 6. However, just 1 win in the last 4. And we'll talk about that 1 win in a minute. Panama, though, come into this on 58% form for them right now, unbeaten in the last 3 matches. The last match between these two sides was back in June 2022. It was a friendly. Uruguay's preparations for this tournament have included a 0-0 draw against Costa Rica. Now, hold the phone on that one. Hold the phone. I do believe that was a squad of youngsters, amateurs, something like that. I did read something about an uncapped goal-scoring machine in the lower leagues of Uruguay getting called up for that match. I did look into that because I was quite interested, but that was not the big boys. The big boys turned up with a 4-0 win over Mexico. Now, I've also got a little bit of belief that Mexico could cause some problems. Now, if we're looking at the United States' loss against Colombia and Mexico's loss against Uruguay, really the CONCACAF nations' superior heavyweights, they look like they're going to struggle here in this tournament. But anyway, Uruguay with a big 4-0 win. Of course, they are done with their preparation matches. As for Panama, also just like Jamaica and some other nations, they are still doing their World Cup qualification matches. They did pick up a 2-0 win over Guyana and a 3-1 win over Montserrat. Those games mean the world of difference to see if they can be in or about the qualification phase. They do take on Paraguay in a preparation match on the 16th of June. But the odds here for this one, 3-1 on is Uruguay. They, of course, favoured it. 50-4 is the draw. 9-1 is, of course, Panama. Again, realistically, it's a 1-horse race here. I think Uruguay, with that Bielsa ball, was just a glimmer, a sliver of hope or just what this team is about. They've got some good stars still. They may still have a few aging guys knocking around, but realistically, there's a rebirth here happening with Uruguay, and I think they could actually challenge Argentina at the end. And maybe I'd love to see Argentina-Uruguay finals to get the 16th trophy. But I went with a 3-1 win for Uruguay to, of course, put them in a bit of a good spot in Group C. Switching gears now to Group D, and it is Colombia against Paraguay in an all-South American encounter, locking horns on the 24th of June. Played each other 16 times in 2004, 10 wins for Colombia, 3 wins for Paraguay, 3 draws, of course. Colombia, managed by Nestor Lorenzo, 100% form for them at the moment, 6 wins on the bounce, goodness gracious me, against the Paraguay side, managed by Daniel Garnero. They are on a 33% form for them, and are just 1 win in the last 6. Now, of the 16 times they have played each other since 2004, 10 wins for Colombia, 3 for Paraguay, 3 draws. Their biggest win for Colombia was a 2-0 win. Scored 18 goals in those 16 matches, 1.13 goals a game. Paraguay, though, picking up a 5-0 win, scoring 12 goals in those 6 games, 0.75 goals a game. Colombia did pick up a win last time around, back in November 2023. That was in Paraguay. It was a World Cup qualification match. In fact, they won back-to-back against Paraguay, and they come into this 3 clean sheets on the bounce against them. In fact, conceding just the 1 goal in the last 5 against them. Their preparations, Colombia, have included a 5-1 win over the United States. They do take on Bolivia in a preparation game on the 15th of June. Of course, that may or may not be a result before this video comes out. As for their opposition, Paraguay, they picked up a 0-0 draw against Peru and a 3-0 loss against Chile, and it's actually been 4 games without a goal in all competitions and all venues. The last goal they scored, in fact, they've just got 1 goal in the last 6. That one and only goal was back in October 2023 against Bolivia, a 1-0 win. So they are struggling with goals at the moment. So that could be a big time player in this one. In fact, though, bookies see that 10-7 on is your Colombia. They are favoured. 12-5 is the draw. 17-4 is your Paraguay here. Realistically, we're going to stick with Colombia. Going to go with a 1-0 win. I might be a little bit shy here. It could be 2 or 3, to be honest with you. But I think the odds are that Paraguay will not score, of course. Anyway, it's the final game of match number 1 is Brazil up against Costa Rica. That's right, coming at you on Monday, June the 24th. That's right, coming at you at the SoFi Stadium. That's right, Brazil, managed by Dorival, up against Costa Rica and Gustavo Alfaro. They've played each other 6 times since 1990. 6 wins for Brazil, nothing for Costa Rica. No draws so far. Brazil, 4 games unbeaten, 50% form for them at the moment. Against the Costa Rica side, 75% form for them right now. Just 1 defeat in the last 6 matches. Of course, those last 6, including a big 4-1 win for Brazil, scoring 14 goals in those 6 games, 2.33 goals a game on average. Costa Rica, no wins, 3 goals scored in those 6 games, 0.5 goals a game on average. The last time that these 2 sides played was in the World Cup back in 2018. It was a 2-0 win for Brazil, of course. And like I said, they've actually gone 3 games without conceding a goal against Costa Rica. But preparations for this tournament have included a 3-2 win for Brazil over Mexico and a 1-1 draw against the United States. Costa Rica's prep has been World Cup qualification matches, 4-0 win over St. Kitts and Nevis and a 3-0 win over Grenada. They are also coming to this on a back-to-back, actually 3 clean sheets on the bounce for Costa Rica, and that does include a 0-0 draw against Uruguay, which of course included a bunch of amateurs, to be honest with him. So let's not look into that game against Uruguay with any credence, of course. Okay, look at the bookies odds here. We have 6-1 on is your Brazil, 6-1 is the draw, 14-1 is of course your long shots. That's Costa Rica. It ain't gonna happen, Costa Rica. I love to see it, but I'm gonna go with a 3-0 win for Brazil. Puts you in the driving seat, of course. And then, and of course, you've got to pick up the results against the big boys, such as Colombia and Paraguay, of course. Quick look then, shall we? A recap of my predictions coming at you here. 2-0 win for USA against Bolivia. A 3-1 win for Uruguay over Panama. We have a 1-0 win coming at you with Colombia against Paraguay. And Brazil's 3-0 win over Costa Rica. And a quick recap of the prediction league. It's free, guys, 100% free. Copa 2024 there, whatever have you. Get in there, see if you can outpredict me, the prediction game. I don't think you can, really, because I'm just too good at this. Subscribe, smash the like. Getting 55 likes, guys. 55 likes, that's the task. It's all down to you. Smash the subscribe. Non-stop shop here for Copa America, all the way through to the final. We're going to be there. It's going to be tricky to be there, but we're going to be there. Until then, subscribe, smash the like. I'll see you later for the next one.